Hello and welcome to Clavy News Desk. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. I am Imefonokun. There was drama at the entrance of the National Assembly complex in Abuja this Tuesday as security operatives barred suspended Kuki Central lawmaker Senator Natasha Akpotun-Uduaghan from gaining access to the premises. The senator arrived at the gate accompanied by activist Aisha Yusufu, right advocate Mama P, activist Randy, and a crowd of supporters, but was denied entry by security operatives. Yusufu, in a bid to intervene, confronted the officers stationed at the gate and challenged the order allegedly issued to block Natasha's entry. The standoff quickly escalated as some supporters began chanting, "Push," while attempting to force their way in. Natasha's supporters were later seen marching toward the complex, chanting solidarity songs.
If Senator Natasha has only one supporter, it will be me. We will stand by her to ensure, because if women will not speak up for women, we the men will rise up and protect the rights of our own women. Senator Natasha is not subject or subordinate to Senator Akpabio. They were elected and sent to represent their people with equal rights. This kind of injustice must not be allowed to continue. Senator Akpabio is not the constituted authority of Nigerians. Nigerians, if it can happen to a senator, it can happen to anybody. Let us speak up for injustice and irregularities when we see so. As it is today, Senator Natasha is to resume her office and her constituency, and she must resume. Senator Natasha must resume her constitutional duties, and no power or no person, including the Senate President, should stop that. Nigerians, do you support injustice? Do you support injustice? Do we stand for justice? They cannot kill all of us. Our generation will make the difference. This Nigeria, I know die here, I live here. This injustice against Senator Natasha must not be sustained.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We want Nigerians to know, and the international community, that the constitution of this country is under attack and that the rights of women are not guaranteed in Nigeria. On the day this issue began with Senator Natasha, the Senate claimed that because she refused to obey standing rules and change her seat, even when she was calling on Order 10 and 11 of her Order of Privileges as a senator, the Senate President unilaterally, he did not know that he was on hot mic. He said, put her on suspension and let the Sergeant at Arms take her out. Meaning even before Senator Akpabio sent that memo to the miserable committee, he had already decided to suspend a senator who was elected like himself. And today in Nigeria, a court of competent jurisdiction has instructed the National Assembly to recall Senator Natasha. Senator Akpabio decided to go and appeal and claim that it was the National Assembly. That appeal was not done by the National Assembly. It was done by Senator Akpabio. Every other respondent includes Senator Natasha, the clerk of the Senate, and also the Senate. So as we speak right now, Senator Akpabio has taken the entire Senate before the court. And what we want to emphasize here today, because injustice to one is injustice to all. In a National Assembly or a Senate of 109 senators, we have only 4 women. One of them is the person going through this persecution. No senator has been suspended for up to 6 months. Her salary withdrawn, her security withdrawn, even when they know that she's in the eye of the storm. What is going on is an illegality. The other 3 senators, Senator Oluronsi Idi-Atadebule is the former deputy governor to Ambode. That one is an APC stalwart. There is Senator Ekpali Bohari Banigo, the former deputy governor to Governor Wike, is also an APC person. And then we have Senator Ereti Kingibe, who is fighting seen and unseen battles. So the only person who is left is Senator Natasha. And everybody who is a Nigerian who talks about women's rights, gender equality, proper representation must support the cause of Senator Natasha. She is doing even more than enough, even during her suspension. And this injustice must not be allowed to stand.
It's about me and a duly elected senator walking into the chambers to resume my constituted duties as I was elected and mandated by the good people of Kogi Central and INEC. And it's unfortunate that we got in today, which is the 22nd of July 2025, having duly notified the Senate through 2 letters that I would be resuming functions today. As a matter of fact, I'm disappointed on 2 grounds. One is the number of armed policemen that we met outside, all well kitted with guns, charged at a female senator who is unarmed with her people here, patriotic Nigerians. And the second thing is the fact that the Senate, under the leadership of Godswill Akpabio, have decided to become lawbreakers, and by denying me entrance into the chambers to resume my duty.
You're stopping someone from going in.
So what is it still doing here?
You call yourself Nigerians.
You can see their faces.
There is shame on your faces because you know indeed that you're doing the wrong thing. But you stand here and you said they gave you orders. Even if they give you orders as slaves, you should not behave like slaves. How do you, sir, stand here and then you go back home and meet your children and say to them that indeed they are citizens when you yourself have not shown that you're a citizen? You stand here, you're blocking a senator, a serving senator who is on our way in. The person who will make laws for your child to matter the way the child of Akpabio matters. But you're standing here and you're blocking because you have this that says Sergeant at Arms. You are behaving in a very unconstitutional manner because the National Assembly is supposed to be for everybody, and you know that. So you have said that here, you're not saying anything. Your people have come and left, you're not saying anything. You're afraid to speak. You stand here, you say you're a citizen, and you block the people who want to go in.
Enough is enough.
What kind of thing is
In a related development, scores of members of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in Kogi State have defected to the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in a show of support for Senator Natasha Akpotudwaha. Natasha received the defectors at Ihima in Okei local government area of Kogi State. The defectors include former Okei local government chairman Hassan Yusuf, special advisor to the council chairman Adia Rafatu Haruna, and an APC stalwart Omoya Longman, alongside their supporters. The Kogi Central Senator Natasha, while addressing the defectors, stated that grassroots engagement remains a core strategy. She told the defectors that they are not building PDP in Kogi Central, but contributing to making the party a formidable force that cannot be defeated in free and fair elections across Nigeria. The senator reaffirmed a resolve to deepen the party's reach, adding, "My responsibility is to strengthen the PDP and bring more people into our fold." She expressed hope that Nigeria's political system will get to a point where each party defines its beliefs, stressing that when ideology fails, parties turn to violence and intimidation in order to get what they want. Inemona Anyembe, PDP state chairman, described the mass defection as a powerful endorsement of Senator Natasha's leadership. The former Rivers State Governor Chibuike Amaechi has described the All Progressives Congress (APC) as a party of failure, pain and anguish with no empathy for the masses. The former Minister of Transportation said this in his resignation letter to the chairman of the APC in Ward 8, Obima Ikwere local government area of Rivers State, dated July 1st, 2025. According to reports, Amaechi had stated earlier that he is no longer a member of the ruling party, insisting the APC no longer exists. Amaechi in his letter said his decision stems from his commitment to joining forces with other patriotic Nigerians to rescue Nigeria from the fangs of failure, pain and anguish, which the All Progressives Congress now symbolizes. Amaechi is one of the leaders of the opposition coalition formed to unseat the incumbent government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. The UK Secretary of State for Business and Trade and senior member of the Conservative Party, Kemi Badenoch, has once again come under renewed criticism over controversial remarks about her birth country, Nigeria, with some analysts describing her narrative as insensitive and capable of tarnishing the country's image.
The latest controversy stems from a claim allegedly made by Badenoch, suggesting that Nigeria does not grant citizenship to children of Nigerian migrants.
There are many people who come to our country, to the UK, who do things that would not be acceptable in their countries. It's virtually impossible, for example, to get Nigerian citizenship. I had that citizenship by virtue of my parents. I can't give it to my children because I'm a woman. Yet loads of Nigerians come to the UK, stay for a relatively brief period of time, acquire British citizenship. We need to stop being naive, and that's why under my leadership, we now have policies to make it a lot harder to just get British citizenship. It's been too easy. It's basically a conveyor belt. We want people who have who want to come to our country to be net contributors, not people who will immigrate and then need welfare, need social housing. That's not right because they haven't paid into the system. So there is a lot that I'm changing on policy.
Reacting to the allegation, legal expert and constitutional analyst debunked the statement, pointing to Section 25 of the 1995 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which clearly confers citizenship on individuals born to Nigerian parents, regardless of their place of birth. The misleading comment has sparked concern among members of the Nigerian diaspora and migration rights advocates who accuse the British minister of peddling half-truths and personal biases to support increasingly harsh migration policies.
When you see what Kemi stands for, that for me is that everything I've been fighting against, everything I've been campaigning against. So whether it's on the issue that she has made the cornerstone of her political career and her campaign for prime minister, her cornerstone is based on culture war, is based on being anti-woke, is based on denying systemic racism exists in the United Kingdom, in undermining LGBT plus rights. This goes against what I believe. So I'm like, how can I possibly support somebody who is bringing up issues that I know I stand against? Kemi Badenoch right now, racists and white supremacists have found a kindred spirit in her because she denies systemic racism exists, because she says things like white privilege should not be taught as a contested fact. Because each time she speaks about Nigeria, if you listen to her when she speaks about Nigeria, she talks about Nigeria in very disparaging tone. Yeah. None of the other contenders speak disparagingly of India, Pakistan, or Iraq. So why does she always do this? This is what you should be thinking about.
This is not the first time Badenoch has been accused of distorting facts about Nigeria. Over the years, she has painted the country in a negative light in several public speeches and writings, often using personal anecdotes to justify her political stance on migration and diversity. Critics argue that her narrative lacks context and feed into damaging stereotypes about African nations.
I grew up in a place where fear was everywhere. You cannot understand it unless you've lived it. Triple checking that all the doors and windows are locked, waking up in the night at every sound, listening as you hear your neighbors scream as they are being burgled and beaten, and wondering if your home will be next. When you've experienced that kind of fear, you're not worried about being attacked on Twitter. How rare and precious it is to live in a country with security, democracy, equality under the law, and above all else, freedom, free markets, conservative freedoms, conservative principles.
Observers note a growing contradiction in her public persona. While she's a beneficiary of migration herself, having relocated from Nigeria to the UK as a child, Badenoch has championed policies that seek to curtail legal migration routes, particularly from countries like Nigeria.
Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the British Labour or Conservative Party. We are proud of her, in spite of her efforts at denigrating her nation of origin. She is entitled to her own opinions. She has even every right to remove the Kemi from her name. But that does not underscore the fact that the greatest black nation on earth is the nation called Nigeria.
Analysts say her approach reflects a broader trend with the Conservative Party to appeal to nationalist sentiment by tightening immigration controls. However, Badenoch's repeated targeting of Nigeria has raised deeper questions about motive. However, Badenoch has not publicly responded to the backlash surrounding her latest comments. Meanwhile, there have been growing calls for greater accountability and sensitivity from public officials in addressing issues that impact global communities and diaspora populations. As debate continues, many are left wondering whether the UK's minister's stance is rooted in political calculation or something more personal. Florence Joshua reporting for Clearview News Desk.
And that's the news. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clearview News Desk, or via handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online. Many thanks for watching. I am Imefonoko.